Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, as long as it's all good. Welcome to The House That Happened, sponsored by Shuey's Bar and Grill, the only place to be in suburban Etobicoke. Voted 4 times the best dive bar in the GTA, but we'd like to believe it's the best dive in Ontario because when you get here, we keep the vibe alive. Hi, my name is Cruz.
And I'm Andrew Milani.
And we're here to discuss the insidious, iconic, and insane things that happen in this crazy world we call sports. How you doing, buddy?
A lot better after game 2, tell you that much.
We're going to get to that for sure because I could feel that you didn't even sleep Tuesday night. I'm not sure, but I felt the whole city didn't sleep. But we're going to discuss that in a second. We would be, considering we're taking hockey and we are at Shuey's, and everybody knows if you want to have a safe place to watch the Montreal Canadiens, and you know we
Montreal, get out of here.
We do keep tabs on the Habs. No. We cannot let this go by. We'd just like to have a somber moment to remember. It was 1 year ago today. We lost one of the greatest hockey players of all time and who sits as an existential god in my house, and that's Guy Lafleur.
Well, the greatest to ever play the game.
You're damn right, and I would be remiss if I did not bring up the fact that we got, you know what? There's Jesus and there's Guy Lafleur at Shuey's. Just letting everybody know. So you come in, we have an altar here. Yeah. Oh, yes, there is. We love Guy Lafleur. And a couple other special interest notes. It would be remiss of me if we didn't bring up the fact that my favorite artist of all time, he also left us 7 years ago. Huge shout out to my guy Prince. I'm a music junkie. I was talking to my cousin yesterday. I thought he'd be one of the artists I'd be able to see. I said I've seen 20 times. I only seen him 13.
That's not bad.
Okay, I only seen him 13.
13 more than me.
Okay.
So.
Oh, it's too bad you didn't see him because he's one of the greatest live artists, one of the greatest artists of all time.
One of the greatest Super Bowl performances.
Oh yeah, top 5 all time. Even and then the rain with the timing, it's just
perfect.
That's Prince for you. That's just the way he did. Have you ever seen him live? I went to see him 13 times for a reason.
Yeah. And
I actually seen the second last show he ever did because he was a man on the piano, and then he went to Atlanta, then he died. And that was the craziest thing ever. He just came out with a... My wife always says this because our seats were so close, and I looked at Prince and said, he looks a little skinny tonight. And my wife said, he always looks small. I go, no, he doesn't look right. He was dead within 6 weeks of that night, which was just, I'm still not over. And another thing I want to shout out, especially to our proprietor, our diehard, a guy that should be on the show today, Serge. We are going to get more Soundgarden material. Soundgarden's Chris Cornell's widow has finally got her head. I shouldn't say that because I don't know. I'm not going to say anything. All we're going to know is that we knew there was tracks out there that were completed. And if you're a Soundgarden fan, we are going to get some more stuff. And oh, by the way, I only seen Soundgarden 8 times. Serge seen them 50. Not that we're fans or anything. You know what I'm saying?
That's another one I'm jealous of you guys of.
Oh, yeah. But especially
I'm a Soundgarden guy.
Oh, especially if the Phoenix show. Like, we seen them at the Phoenix. Like, no, not at ACC, not at Massey Hall. We seen them at Phoenix. That was amazing. It blew away. But you know what? Now that we've got all the special interest stuff out of the way, we have some very special interests in Toronto this week, Mr. Milani. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling pretty good.
Are you?
Yeah.
Are you sticking to your...
Leafs in 5.
Leafs in 5. I just want to shout out to all the people that are listening to our show, and there's more people that are joining. Thank you very much. I want to give credit to my partner in this show because he's not backing down from the ridiculous notion that Toronto is going to win this in 5 games. Are you nuts? Are you crazy?
I'm not nuts.
Okay, I'm going to put it this way. What if Macaulay does the next game?
I don't think he will.
Okay, what if he does game 4? What if he does any more game in this series? The numbers say. Well, no, we're going to get to that subject later because probably people are saying, what are you talking about? But that could be an 0 for 9.
Could be, but we'll see.
Okay, we're going to see. So anyway, let's dissect the situation that's coming
One game at
down.
a time.
Okay, we're going to take this one game at a time. Me as an outsider sitting around loving sports, what do you call it? A conscientious observer. Is that what you put my position? Because people have to seem to think that I am a Leaf hater, and I am not. I am not a Leaf hater. Did I go out of my way to get them
a lot of backhand compliments about the Leafs coming from you.
I didn't offer him my parking spot or anything like that. But let's cut to the chase here. When the game ended Tuesday night, honestly, how did you feel?
I wasn't feeling great. But hold on. Here was the solace I took from it. The Leafs played like garbage. Tampa Bay didn't play well either, and they still won big time. I mean, there's a lot you can build off there. Because Toronto Toronto had nothing that game. There was that opening goal. All of a sudden, it was like, I don't know. They just lost their edge. All those penalties. they shot themselves in the foot.
Okay, I'm not.
That might be the worst game the Leafs played all year.
Oh, there's no doubt. Yeah. I'm not going to deny that. But here's one of the things that I cannot accept. In the third period, there wasn't a scrap. There wasn't a hit. There was nothing. It's just like you guys are mailing it in, calling in. Okay, I'm calling Uber. Can I get some sushi with my movie, please? They did not show any spark in the third period at all, which concerned me as just a conscientious observer because I said, what are they going to bring to the next game? When you get bamboozled like that, the question was, does the Leafs have any heart? They seem to have answered the call.
Oh, they did right away, game 2. I mean, I didn't like the Giordano-Bogosian matchup with that fight.
Okay, we're going to get on a thing. Remember, call me by 7 o'clock tonight, and remember you brought up fights, okay? Because we're going to deal with that.
I was shocked there was 3 in that game. That was the last thing.
I expected it more because I expected
3, though?
I expected. I was telling my buddies at work, I said, we're getting scraps tonight. And you're going to say why? Because in the history of watching hockey for all the years that I have watched the games, there's a certain pattern that seems to happen. And one of them is this. Okay, the home team loses the first game. When they lose it in this fashion, that's really, really scary because I was wondering if the Leafs were going to answer the bell. And the Leafs came out swinging, all to their credit. But the bottom line is I'm not saying that the opposing team that's visiting takes their foot off the pedal. But they're thinking, hey, we already stole one. You know what I mean? And there's a little less gas taken. The same thing happened in the Edmonton-LA game.
Yeah.
LA had a chance to take that game, and they kind of went, well, we got the first game, which I think is very, very crazy because
I don't like that mentality.
No, and I think that's kind of what happened. Like once Tampa Bay realized that things were out of control, they did the exact opposite of what the Leafs did, and they just started hitting everybody. Mm-hmm. They just started throwing their sticks around and reminding we still got a lot of games to go. Where I thought Toronto kind of turtled a bit and went home. I'm taking my ball and go home. Well, Tampa Bay knew they were losing. They were sore losers. Sticks were flying, elbows were going, and we had scraps because what they're doing is they're still going to put that message out to Toronto that we got you guys. You got us tonight, but you're coming to Tampa.
Well, they are going to Tampa, but I mean the Leafs' depth was too much for Tampa to keep up with in game 2.
Well, I don't want to bring it up.
The big thing is for Tampa, their big coaching decision is do you take Braden Point off that top line to kind of balance the lineup a little bit more?
I don't think so. I would leave it away.
I think they're going to be in trouble then.
No, I think the problem is because now they're losing their 2 defensemen. That's the issue. I think that Cernak's going to play tonight. But Hedman, they're not even telling you what the problem is. Remember, he came out for the second period the game the other night, and then he went right back to the dressing room. Mm-hmm. And we haven't seen him since.
So
Hedman he wasn't even dressed for the pregame skate.
Game 2, no.
No, he was. So what does that tell you?
He was at the morning skate today, though.
Was he?
Yeah. That doesn't mean he's going to play, but I don't see anything on Cernak, so I think he's still out.
Okay, well that's why Bunting's out, but we'll get to that in a minute.
Yeah.
My bigger concern is this: in the Stanley Cup Playoffs, it's not a 7.
It looks like Hedman's paired with Perbix.
So he's coming out tonight. Okay, well that should be interesting.
Yeah, Cernak didn't practice today.
I'm not expecting him for a couple of games in the series.
Hedman though, like he's not 100%.
Okay, so in any event, I think anytime you got your wounded bear, so to speak, you better be careful.
Yeah.
Okay, and the first game's here. Now, I'm going to say this, too, and I think this is a great advantage to the Leafs. Even though that Tampa Bay crowd's going to be screaming when they come out, when Toronto does score a goal, this is Florida. This is Tampa. I think we're going to get a little bit of a response from the Leaf contingency down in Florida tonight. You know what I'm saying?
I was going to say, there's going to be no shortage of blue and white. They both wear blue and white, but...
Yeah.
By the way, screw Tampa for the knockoff Leaf jerseys, but had to mention that.
Oh, what a zing. I've been hearing the knockoff Leaf jerseys. Does that mean that somebody was probably from Toronto down there deciding what they're going to be looking like in the future?
I don't get it. Tampa, like they had the look down with the blue, white, black, and silver, and then
I like that better.
Yeah,
I thought it too, and I should have designated that because that would have defined more than who they are. But I always think, well, just a quick off, and I'm going to get back to it. I like traditional designs of hockey jerseys, except when you add colors like Seattle.
Yeah,
Look at the
theirs are
lineage.
too busy.
Their jersey looks it looks traditional, like the sleeves, the socks.
Yeah.
But it's the colors.
That's my problem with Vegas too.
Oh yeah, well Vegas is Vegas.
Vegas is Vegas, but I wouldn't be caught dead wearing that, especially the gold one. Oh,
I expect someone come over and grab
that.
their arm and pull it down, and some change comes up, or 3 pairs come on. Like every time you pull a player's arm, because sometimes it looks like a machine to me. I don't know.
Sure.
It's all Vegas all the time. But let's get back to the story at hand here.
Yeah. So we're talking about the depth. So I think a big difference there was putting O'Reilly on the third line. So you had you had 3 good lines going. You had Matthew Nyes on there. Didn't have the greatest game, but he's still kind of.
I think he's going to make a difference in this series. That's my prediction right now.
I think so, too. I mean, he's playing pretty well. I think he's just got to play with a little bit more of a mean streak, let's say.
Well, you know what? Just figuring he was playing college hockey a month ago.
Exactly.
Okay, now he's in the heat of a series that he's just understanding the depth and breadth of how angry these guys are at each other. So, but I still say he's a skilled player. And I don't think he should be playing on the 3rd or 4th line. I really thought that they should have, tonight it's going to be different. Because one of the things I really thought...
Yeah, but the Leafs third line isn't your traditional checking third line.
No, they're both ways.
Exactly.
And guys could go. So I'm saying, so you're going to put the kid on the 4th line. He's going to play with the bricklayers. Even though I would say in the game 1, your best line was your 4th line. Was Lafferty in that crew or whatever?
No, disagree. The bottom 6 was terrible. The game 1 for the Leafs.
I thought the top 6 was just as bad. So
Matthews and Marner were their best players game 1.
What?
Yeah.
Marner looked like he was scared. Get out of here. He looked like a water bug. Every time. Now, I will give Marner credit because he came back strong the second game. But Marner had his worst game of the year, game 1. I'll argue that to the cow. Him and Giordano both had their and I was very surprised, Giordano, but maybe he was overcompensating for the fact they were getting behind. Okay.
Maybe.
And then you also had McCabe, who decided he's going to hit people to get in the game. And what did he do? He hit guys in the wrong area, coach. The guys were open and scoring on Samsonov. So I said, that's crazy. But you guys fixed all of those problems for game 2. The number one thing I think that you guys did, which is very important in the annals of how you continue on and confidence is your team. Toronto Maple Leafs were 100 and what point team? 111, whatever. Okay, so you're top tier team in the league. You start game 1 of the playoffs, and things obviously did not go your way. But if you believe in your team, I think that Sheldon Keefe did the very thing he was supposed to do, had the exactly same lineup, except for without Bunting. They had to put the kid in because Bunting wasn't there. And he started the game with who?
The big boys.
And who was the 2 defensemen?
Giordano Hall.
Giordano Hall. Because why? Because he knew that Marner had his worst game, and he knew his worst defensive pair that night was Giordano and Hall, with McCabe coming up and doing his thing a close second. Okay? So in any event, it just shows that the coach was who had a horrible press conference, by the way, after game 1. Keefe's got to up his game at the press conference. He sounded like he was going to sell out his goalie. Okay, now the very next morning, No,
he said the next day, right away, he's starter for game 2.
Well, he had to. He looked like an idiot if he didn't. The way he talked, it wasn't all Samsonov's fault, even though sometimes I'm finding they're shooting high on him an awful lot.
Yeah.
Why is that?
Well, it's because it's his weak
point. Because he's always looking like he's at church.
Yeah.
Jesus, help me make a save. Get off your knees, Samsonov. You can't go down here. He's not a true butterfly goalie.
No.
Okay? Agreed?
Yeah.
So what is he doing on his knees so much? How many goals went over his shoulder?
A bunch.
Okay, even in game 2. Even game 2, where did the 2 goals go? Over his... Now, one was a deflection. I went with one of the goals with deflection.
No goals. Both goals were low in game 2.
Were they? That one was over his shoulder.
No, both of them were low. Both of them were, he basically got deked out. It was one-on-one.
Oh, yeah, the one-on-one. Yeah, okay, but you're right. I thought it was one in there. Okay, so Mr. Samsonov, I am speaking for you. I hope your new child is working out well for you. He's not letting you keep up at night. The wife is letting you take care of those things so you can get some sleep. Okay, or you're in another room. I don't know how that goes. But I thought that this is where coaching is interesting. Did you see John Cooper after his presser?
After game 2?
Yeah.
I heard clips of it.
Oh, the best part was when they were talking about Toronto going 3 deep at center. How is Tampa going to handle that? Cooper looked and goes, I'll put my 3 guys up against anybody. What are you talking about? Called out the reporter, called him right out, and got up and said, okay, press conference over. Bye. Even you asked me something stupid, I got to get out of here, which I think every coach could do. When you ask a ridiculous, stupid, and he didn't answer, he didn't go all Tortorella or anything like that. He just very politely said, you're an idiot.
Well, Cooper is the best at doing that in the game.
Oh. Unbelievable. He's a great coach. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So the only problem I'm saying about Tampa Bay is the thing that I would be worried about as a fan, as a team, is
Of a fan of the Lightning, you're saying?
yeah, if you're a fan of the Lightning, if you're a fan of their team and they're holdover, is that this is the 4th year in a row that they've been playing on this level. They've got some injury problems, and they played more games than anybody in the NHL in the last 4 years. Is that going to catch up to them, I think, at all?
I think so. I've said this before. They've lost some key pieces too. Like
Agreed.
Andre Platt was one of their most clutch players in those playoff runs.
You notice him now. You notice him not being there. I forgot about him. And then what's
You're missing Ryan McDonough.
Oh, that's what I was going to say. Ryan McDonough. Those are the
big two. Yeah.
I noticed that. I said if they had McDonough on this team still, even though those two kids that played more, and the kid from Toronto, the kid from Markham, Kadish or whatever his name is.
Radish
or whatever his name is. They did play a little bit better, but I'm thinking they must have had some nerves.
You can't even compare them, though.
Oh, no. They're not on the level, but they showed up.
Sure.
They showed up. But a part of the thing, too, is that I think you're going to see it tonight. I think you're going to see a brawl in the first 10 minutes of the game tonight.
Wow.
I'm calling it now. You're going to see. I don't know who. Probably Corey Perry, and he's going to pick a fight with somebody now.
What about Tanner Jeannot, the bum? That's another thing about Tampa. I'd argue the lineup got a little bit worse because they took out. I forgot the guy's name now, but they swapped him out for Jeannot. It's like, you paid all those draft picks, all that capital, just for a guy that can fight.
Okay, well here's the even problem. How many minutes did he get last night? 8? 6?
Yeah, he was playing fourth line.
Yeah, he didn't get much. And I think that's the cool thing about Tampa is you notice Tampa Bay, they keep their roster short. And I did notice that in the second game that Keefe kept the lineup a little shorter. Like the fourth line guys didn't get on as much as they should. And this is playoff time. If you notice the Minnesota-Dallas series, Minnesota's top 2 lines are getting way more ice time than the other two. If you're actually I haven't looked at the numbers exactly, but just from a an eye point, you know what I mean? Eyeballs point of view.
Right.
You see especially the top line, they seem to be out there every 10 seconds. Like they're rotating.
The Kaprizov line?
Yeah. And they're playing great hockey, by the way. But
wouldn't be surprised if they were.
But I think their ice time has gone up, which is my old theory, which I've been talking about all year. Better conditioning, better equipment, better. Then you better play better minutes, more time.
Well, yeah, that's why I like. Well, Sheldon Keefe was doing the same thing. He was double shifting Matthews Marner.
Yes, which is a good thing.
Oh, exactly. I'm not going to complain.
I think it was actually better for Marner's game because, bro, let's cut to the chase here. Marner looked terrible the first game. He looked like a junior B guy that was he was terrible. He gave the puck up 2 or 3 times in his own zone, just gave it up. Guys were coming, he just dumped the puck and didn't look where he was passing it, which caused a couple 2-on-1s and 3-on-1s. Let's go back to the tape, bro. We'll take a look at that. I'm not afraid, and I'm a Marner guy. You know that. I love Marner. I love Matthews. Come on. I want it to be full disclosure here. I am not hating on the Toronto Maple Leafs. I'm hoping they win a series. You better hope that they're winning it too, because I still haven't.
What type of comment is that?
Because I'm still letting you know that you still have to win a playoff series before the Montreal Canadiens.
It's okay. They're going to be Tampa.
Well, then I'll shut up. Then until then, I'm just going to remind you that Montreal Canadiens has won a playoff series before the Toronto Maple Leafs. So, what do you expect tonight? I'm expecting in the first 10 minutes a fight, or it's going to get. It's going to be high-end hockey.
Oh, for sure.
It should be a high-end hockey.
I think it's going to be a much tighter game tonight.
Oh, it's going to be traditional. That. It should traditional say that.
Mind you, the 7-2 loss isn't usually followed up by 7-3 win.
First time in history.
Yeah, there you go.
How much hockey? 109 years old? 110 years old? Whatever hockey is. This has never happened in the history of hockey.
Yeah, it's insane.
Like that wouldn't happen. So I'm saying it's going to be a little tighter tonight, but what if one team or the other scores first in the first 2 minutes? It's happened in both games. If Tampa scores first, what happens? If the Leafs scores first, what happens?
It depends when the goal happens. If it's like a goal in the first couple minutes.
I'm saying, here's my scenario. If Toronto scores in the first 2 minutes of the game, guaranteed a fight before the end of the first period. If Tampa scores the first game, the goal in the first 2 minutes, I expect to see some of the fastest hockey we've seen in all the series going, because Leafs will just up their skating.
Yeah.
Now, what the Leafs have done, and the Leafs, in a weird way, they're both good skating teams. I think Toronto's a little better skating team than Tampa Bay.
I think so too.
You agreed? But what they don't do is they don't finish their checks. You can skate as hard as you want, but you got to finish your checks. Here's a good sign. Would somebody go back and look at the tape and check out game 2? And I seen something. I rewound it. I still got the game on my PVR. If you come to my house, we'll crack a beer and show it to you. And I never thought I would say this, which means I'm just keep building this guy up more and more. And even though I do like his commercials, is Austin Matthews went looking for people to hit in game 2.
He did.
Come on. This is the Austin Matthews that I used to just say terrible things about every day, twice on Sunday. I used to look at this big lug from the desert and go, sharpen your skates, kids. Come on. Now he actually went out and looked to hit people. So what I'm saying is he's got to hit people. Bunting is always your guy. But I'm talking about that Lafferty guy. He hit somebody. But Tavares has got to hit somebody.
That's Riley, not Tavares' game.
You got to finish your check, bro. You got to finish. Look at the game like the other night in the third period. Tampa Bay, even though they were down by 5 goals, every guy made sure that they ran into a Leaf along the way. And meanwhile, in the third period of the first game, the Leafs were looking for the dinner table so they could have a bite to eat and get home and tell the wives that we'll be better the next night. Which they were.
They were.
I'll give you that. Because I'm telling you this much. I didn't get shot on the next day after the first game. But I didn't say too much when I was walking the streets because people know who I am. So I wasn't too loud because the mood of the city was not good. Can you agree?
Well, I mean, yeah, who's happy? Was it game 1 was what, Tuesday, right?
Yes.
The Wednesday was miserable for me.
Oh, the whole city. What do you mean? For you, everywhere I went, everybody was visible. That's when I was concerned about that Depends truck backing into the delivery thing at the Scotiabank Arena. Someone said, Cruz, you see that truck? What is that? That's a truck full of Depends. It's at the delivery area at the Scotiabank Arena. Why? Oh, that's why. Okay, they didn't need him. They didn't need him. You didn't need him. Why are you laughing then? Because the whole city was on that. Come on, you walked around. I didn't even. And there was guys at work that were looking at him. Don't look at that guy. You're going to kill me. They were just looking at me. I didn't say nothing. Don't say nothing. I didn't say nothing. I walked.
And who you were thinking?
I was saying, "Happy Hump Day. How's your wife? Can I help you walk your dog?" That's what everybody sounded like. The city was so sad, and all those old grandmas. I was holding their hands, saying, "It's gonna be better. Don't worry."
Sure
I was nice to everybody. I'm a nice guy most of the time, but don't start rumors. I'm just saying that one of the problems at the playoffs in this city is. First of all, I'm not going to talk about your lineage and where you live, okay? I won't go there. But I'm going to say this. All you guys were nervous. Don't give me...
Well, yeah.
I can feel... Okay, put it this way. My brother-in-law... Oh, I forgot to tell you. His name is Palermo. He's of Italian descent, too. My brother-in-law and my nephew went down. They got tickets for the game on Thursday night, which was just great. I'm glad they're going. So I sent them messages. They already said to my sister, we don't want to see your brother's messages. Which I thought was kind of neat. And I don't diss them too. I don't diss them either. I just say, how's it going, guys? Shut up. That's all the answer I get. Why do people tell me to shut up? When I ask them how the Leafs are doing, why is the first thing I get is shut up, Cruz, shut up. I didn't say anything bad. I'm cheering for him.
Nah, no, you're not.
I'm cheering for him.
You're like one of my buddies says they're cheering for the Leafs, but then every time Tampa Bay gets scored on, they go, "What the hell?"
I didn't say nothing. I didn't say nothing. Did I text you during the first game? No. Was I tempted to text you? Oh, I did. I will be honest. I did text a couple of Leaf people. I will be honest. I did not want to. I wanted you to sleep well that night. Is that how I'm going to put it? I knew you were going to have a bad sleep anyway, but I didn't want to go. So let's get back to the reality of the situation. I think that the Leafs should make a lineup change tonight. I think Liljegren should be a defenseman out there. Because I'm going to say to you, the reason that I said it, and we're going to check the tapes, I said the reason that the Leafs would lose to Tampa Bay is because the wholesale changes at the trade deadline were too big. You got an 18-man team and you changed 6 guys. Your best defense pairing, I want someone to bring me the tape, was Sandin and Liljegren.
No,
Riley wasn't even playing. He was on the injury. You should be glad that Riley got those appointments.
Sandin and Liljegren was never the best pair.
I'm saying they played very well when you go
against
back
other teams like third line.
That was still the game was out there. You were winning. You had a 10-game winning streak.
But saying that was the best pair, that's ridiculous.
Well, who is better? Riley
the Giordano pair.
No, they were solid. They were solid, okay? That's all they were. They were just solid. Were they scoring points? Were they doing anything? They were just doing their job. They were Bill Belichicking. That's all they were doing. The guys that were out there playing.
So what was Sandin doing that was so spectacular?
He was on the power play, and he was a plus. Remember, we checked their pluses at the time? They had great
playing
pluses.
Sheltered minutes.
Oh, boo. So what did you bring in? You bring in this guy, McCabe, who's supposed to be tough.
He's Muzzin Light.
Oh, I don't even. Did you see him get himself out of position? Okay, he wasn't as bad in game 2. You visibly seen this guy. Okay, which I'll give him this. He was trying hard. Mm-hmm. He was playing his ass off. But that means you get yourself out of position because you're playing hard, means you're not thinking. You know what I mean? Like you can play as hard as you can, but you seen him out there. He hit the wrong guy. The other guy's wide open. Now his defense partner, maybe he should have been helping.
Well, I'd rather have him than Sandin, who always shied away from the moment.
But we don't know now because you said that last year. Everybody shied away from the moment then.
But we saw this the regular season from Sandin as well, so we do know.
You guys were winning. You were taking a run at Boston when O'Reilly wasn't playing. When you guys started the game, who was your first lineup? When you got to start the game, who was out there? Lilligren and Sandin.
Okay, so what?
So that was giving.
Who got the most ice time though? Wasn't them?
That was pretty much. They were on that, but Giordano got the
most
Brody.
Ice time.
They got the more, especially which I will understand because in the last 5 minutes he was out there to kill the time off, and I wouldn't say he's a journeyman player. I'm saying Giordano should get like some kind of bonus. I mean, he had a rough game 1, but he came back in game 2 like a veteran should. You know, he didn't make any of those crazy mistakes. He didn't overplay. Mm-hmm. Okay,
we gotta move on. Though it's been like 20 minutes.
That's good because I want to make sure that everyone knows that you people out here in Toronto, you better start sweating because if you don't win, it's going to be 20 years next year. Just think, Mr. Milano, well, you're next year going.
Oh, but you're cheering for Leafs.
You're cheering. I don't want to have.
That's why you want us to start. Get out of here, Cruz.
I don't want to be here next year saying
here.
This is the 20th year that we're looking for the Toronto Maple Leafs, who've traded another 6 guys at the trade deadline, and they got some goalie named Smith. Okay. So, anyways, what is your prediction for tonight? They got to win. You said game in 5, so they're winning the next
Leafs
3.
Win. They're winning. They're winning tonight. They're winning Monday. They win Thursday. Next time we were on the show, Leafs will have won the series.
Oh my God! This sounds like a Richard Pryor comedy routine. Stop it! They're not going to win. First of all, you're going to get Macaulay as a ref again.
Not necessarily.
Okay, but you know what? Okay, let's before we leave the Leaf thing. Let's just put the thing in proper perspective, and then I'll move on.
The conflict of interest.
Oh, no. We're not going to talk about that. We're going to talk about the reality of the history of hockey and how is it going. If you had started before we started anything, and it's Tuesday night, they haven't dropped the puck yet, and I said, the Leafs are going to split going to Tampa Bay. How would you feel about that?
I'd still say Leafs in 5.
Okay, great. This guy is stubborn. I'm liking that about him. Majority of people would have said they were very happy with a split because they said we're going to go to Tampa Bay and split. Because now what this is going to boil down to is a best.
Who would have said they're happy about that? No Leaf fan I know.
I seen it. I'm not going to say what show it is, but I heard one of the main guys said if I had known I was getting this split.
That's a ridiculous take.
I thought so too. I would have said, no, man, I want to win. But everyone said, well, we would have split because if the game is 2-2. After 4 games, aren't we okay?
No, you don't want it. You don't want this to drag on to 7 games. Like, who are we kidding?
Why? Because you're the Toronto Maple Leafs?
No, because it's the playoffs. You want to get through as soon as possible.
Okay.
Go through 7 games. You're just making things more tough for yourself.
I think maybe you should go down in that dressing room tonight and address that team, bro. I think you should go down there and give them some of that fire. Tell them, no, man, I don't want no 6 or 7 games because you know what's going to happen? If it's 2-2 coming home, guess what? The city's going to feel the same way it did. The same. They're going to be back on, oh, no, best of 3. Here we go.
No, Leafs got to take these 2 games in Tampa, and I think they can.
I don't think they will. I think they're going to split. I think what they're really going to show is they're going to show their might when they win game 6. I will give you this. I think they can win at 6 because I think they're going to win a matter of attrition. I think that's what they're going to do.
I think they're winning both games in Tampa.
Okay.
Tampa, let's be real. They're going to be looking for Hedman.
So what? They're going to be looking for all those other going to hit. They're going to hit Marner.
No, but Hedman's playing injured. Let's be real.
I think he'll respond. He's not afraid. He's a warrior. He's not going to be there. We'll see. Well, when we get on the ice tonight, maybe they give him one of those magic shots. You know what I mean? Where suddenly you float around like Pinocchio and a unicorn and nothing hurts you. I don't know. I've never had one of those shots, so I wouldn't know how it would go. Okay? So anyways, God bless the Toronto Maple Leafs tonight. I'm hoping they win. You heard it here on the tape,
Wow.
April 21st.
22nd.
22nd. I believe, no, it's 21st.
22nd.
Oh, is it 22nd?
Yeah.
I got to get something for my wife for her birthday soon. Anyways.
Uh-oh.
The bottom line is, let's hope the Toronto Maple Leaf wins tonight. And you know who I'm giving a shout out to? All the bar owners and all the grandmothers. Those are the two people I'm cheering for most, because then the grandmothers got to put up with all the angry men. The husbands, the uncles, the sons, the grandsons. They got to cook for all these miserable little bastards because the Leafs lost. So, and the bartenders don't get, the bars don't get the business they need. The stores don't get the little buying. Everybody's not going, how you doing? Everyone's going, hey, how you doing? How's your day? What you asking me what my day for? That's what Toronto's going to be like. As soon as you say, hey, how's your day? Why are you asking me about my day? You know what I mean? That's Toronto at its finest. But we're going to go on because we're not going to keep tabs on the Habs. We're going to say, go Leafs, go. Now, for the rest of the hockey playoffs, I do have to bring up one thing because I talked a lot about this, and this is going to put egg on my face. But what's happening with the Edmonton Oilers, bro?
They have not looked good.
No, they look good for the first two periods.
Yeah, but they can't finish.
Oh, my God, I'm telling you. And I'm telling you, this is Connor McDavid's time. We're talking about putting him on Mount Rushmore. How can you put a guy on Mount Rushmore if he doesn't win a Stanley Cup?
I'll stick by that's an unfair argument because, like you've said it yourself, hockey's one of those games where one player can't turn it around all on their own. It takes 19 with the goalie, right?
Okay, so last night for times I couldn't hear his name.
Because they got 3 guys on him in LA.
So knock somebody down. Do something.
They're getting out-coached. I think that's the problem.
Oh, interesting. Do you think we're going to see Campbell in this? I think they got to stay with Skinner.
No.
I don't think it's Skinner's fault.
I think they got to put Draisaitl McDavid back together.
Really?
Yeah.
So go for all that scoring, all for one, and just screw the fourth line. Just go with the
if
three.
If they're gonna go with have 3 guys surround McDavid, you got to give him some support.
Agreed. I thought Evander Kane would give him some more, but he's looking flat out there.
Well, he doesn't have McDavid to feed him the puck when he can't get it.
Well, I think that they should go back to that. I think that would be better. I think they should put Kane back out there because not only that, Kane will hit people.
I think you load up that first line like Kane, McDavid, Draisaitl.
Go for it. I think
you all 3 of them together.
Then that's even better. I would say that start the game because they can't afford to lose.
No, if they go down 3-1, they're
can
done.
Come back. I mean, it's a possibility.
It's going to be tough against this Kings team.
Doughty's looking like vintage Doughty out there. You know what I mean? And Kopitar is looking like vintage Kopitar. And the role players are doing what they're doing. I know you called L.A. to go there, and I picked Edmonton in this series. You picked L.A., which you're looking really good on. I keep forgetting what a great skating team L.A. really is.
Oh yeah.
They're they're one of the good-looking teams when you look at the play. So, I don't know. We're going to see tomorrow night, but this is Connor McDavid's time. I really thought that this is going to be his breakout playoff series. I'm still saying that's far from over. Mm-hmm. And I still believe that they're going to win this series, but something has to change. And I think it's more on the front end because they were talking about worrying about the goaltending on Edmonton, and they were worrying about the back end. Well, the games have been 3-2s. They've been low-scoring games, so obviously the back end is holding up for Edmonton as is the.
But I would argue that's more LA establishing their style.
Oh, I agree too, because LA's not out to score 5 goals.
No,
but you know what they do? They play. How would you call it? The checking skating. Because what they do is, I don't say they clog up the neutral zone because they're skating very well to do it, but somehow they seem to.
Yeah, they got these little traps.
But they're moving. They're like moving traps. You know what I mean? It's not like the old day where you get up and kind of block the guy going because they stay with the flow. Because you got to admit this. Sometimes when those 2-2, when the scores are tied in those Edmonton-LA games, the hockey is amazing.
Oh, yeah.
It's really, really good-looking hockey. Like, guys are going, not a lot of whistles, stuff like that. But can I just say one thing? That guy from Sweden that did that jump through the air, and they got the double minor because he started with Arvidsson. I think that this guy should be suspended for a game just for looking that stupid. I'm telling you, when you looked at it in real time.
Oh yeah, that's something we never even got to with the Leafs, the bunting suspension.
This is why we're gonna bring up the bunting suspension very soon. But this guy, when you seen it in real time, you went whoa, because he nearly took his head off. Then you see the replay. And you go, did we get fooled? Did you see the guy in the air?
Yeah.
How do you get in the air? They touched heels. Okay, now they were saying that he was moving his body to get out of the way of the check. So someone said, if you look at it from this angle, it says that he was moving his body out of the air. So once you get in the air, where do you learn to do the twist? Do you practice that? He's from Sweden, is he? So Can I call out Swede players? Am I allowed to do that at the house that happens?
Is this Cruiser Don Cherry in the house?
Oh, Don, I miss you so much. So let's talk about these Swedish guys, Don. I'm going to pick it up for you. That was a flop. The guy should have went to the penalty just for flopping. What do you say?
Oh, that should be a penalty, yeah.
It should have been a penalty, too. As soon as they said the replay, and they said, okay, because they called it a 5-minute major right off the hop.
No, but they turned that back, though, right?
They had to.
Yeah.
Come on. They should have said 2 minutes for tripping, but the guy did get a penalty because he initially instigated that. Which is probably the reason they didn't give the flop call. But don't you think they should call that a flop?
Oh, yeah, flop is a flop is a flop.
Oh, man, that's one of the best few years. I think that we should have a show where we look up the history of the game and find the 10 best flops of all time. And I'll bet you 6 of them will be from Sweden.
Oh, no.
How you doing, Matt Sundin? You over there in Stockholm with your 16-year-old wife? How you doing?
Whoa, okay.
Sweden. I'm not done with Sundin. I should talk about it. Everything else about Sweden I like, except for their flopping hockey players. Okay? Which, let me tell you another thing, and I should defend. I'll just bring back Mr. Nylander is not playing like a Swede.
You don't think so?
No, I think he's been playing tough. He's been showing up.
He's had 2 of the prettiest goals in the series.
No doubt about it. Sweet goals, but we'll get back there. In any event, I thought the guy should be there. I think the Edmonton series is looking like a 7-gamer.
I'm still sticking to Kings in 6.
Wow. That means they win coming back home, right?
Well, I think they're going to take game 4. I'm guessing you think Edmonton's going to take the game tomorrow night.
Yeah, I think they are too. That's what I'm kind of thinking. They better.
If they want to win, yes, they better.
So that's the situation that they're in. But, if they don't, they're cooked. So they're going to win. So that's what I'm saying, that so they'll steal the game in Edmonton and come back home. And you know what?
Well, game 4 is in L.A.
Yeah. So they got to win that. But you know what? When it was in the overtime, Edmonton blew a couple chances in the overtime. They had good chances. And what's his name in goal for L.A.? He's one of their
Korpisalo?
Yeah, he's kept them in it, especially those first periods and second periods.
Oh, he's good.
Whoa, he's played outstanding.
Leaf fans saw that firsthand in that Columbus series.
Oh, there you go. Speaking of Columbus, I did not realize that one of Toronto's losses, I forgot about that, in their whole streak of not getting to playoffs. Remember that Columbus series?
I just brought it up. Yeah, I do.
Oh, my God. That's it. And you know what? Is that why they advanced them? I meant to ask you this, because that was only a 5-game series, remember?
Yeah.
Was that somehow that's how much juice the Leaf game? Because the next series, everything went to 7 games.
Well, that was the play-in, right?
Yeah, but still.
What do you mean?
5 game. Like, okay, remember back in there, and there's no more. Remember that first series used to be always 5 games a few years ago?
No, that was just because of the bubble.
Was that because of the bubble?
They expanded it, so it was like the top 4 seeds got a bye, but then like 5 through 12 had to play their way in.
Oh yeah, that's right, and that's how they lost the best. Yeah, so that won't happen again. Okay, so that
was a one-time deal.
Yeah, and they still blew it, but that's okay. So, anyways, I'm calling for this to be a 7-game series. But if we look at the rest of the playoffs, we're getting some crazy ass surprises, bro.
One thing I want to bring up is besides Carolina, all the home teams blew game 1.
Oh, that's insane.
Yeah.
I think.
Or sorry, except for like I think Boston too, but then like they blew game 2. Yeah. Like it was weird.
Very, very weird. In the annals of playoff hockey in the history of the NHL, we are getting a lot of firsts. You know what I mean? And that being one of them. Like so many teams losing their first game in the home round. That happens all the time. But for the propensity of this many teams losing this many first games is very, very surprising.
6 out of 8, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, including Colorado, the defending champions,
yeah,
who are, I think they're in tough. I dismissed Seattle. If you check the tapes, I kind of dismissed Seattle.
I think I did too.
You know what I mean? But they've come out to fight, and now I'm recognizing a few players on the Seattle lineup that I'm going to be honest with you, I never even gave Seattle the time of day. I can't tell you 5 players that play on the team.
Really?
Because I just never even thought, it's nice.
Well, they got the likely rookie of the year.
Oh, yeah, no doubt about that. And their goaltending solid.
Nah,
I think it's pretty solid. They're in there.
Maybe their goaltending solid, but their defense is not doing them any favors. They're 6 on defense. You look at it's a little suspect, shall we say?
I think that the thing about their defense is they look a little small to me. Is that the word? Is it small?
Well, they're number 1 Vince Dunn, he's definitely a small guy.
Well, that's what I'm saying. They look a little small
They're
to me,
bottom
but they
pairs,
move well.
but they got Alexiak, who's a big boy, and they got Adam Larson, who's pretty big too.
You think?
Larson?
Yeah,
he's got to be like 6'2", 6'3".
I just like the way they come out of their own zone. Is that how you put it? I like the way that they like they headman the puck, like they come out and they do their little thing and they protect the front of the net.
Yeah.
They clear that out and all that stuff because Colorado's coming at them in waves.
Oh, sure.
They're coming at them in waves like you know what the damn burst the other night because look, Seattle still had a 2-0 lead in that game. And that was like that's the what do you call that? The heart of a champion. Mm-hmm. Like Colorado just skated them down. They were not going to be denied. And you know what? And it's my theory where I always say, okay, well, we had the first game anyway. I'm not saying you take your foot off the pedal, but psychologically in your back of your mind, well, we there's no more home advantage. We won the first game, correct? Mm-hmm. I wouldn't want to think like that. I want to win the second game. That. I want to go to the Charles Barkley theory where he's talking about in basketball. You win the first game, win the second game. Don't sit on your laurels. Go back out there and punch him in the face again. You know what I mean? But too many times in sports, it seems to happen that way. The second game, which always makes the third game of the series. So how many games in this series has the third game been the most important? Let's start.
Well, we've talked about statistically, game 3 is the most important.
And we started it last night with L.A. and Edmonton.
Well, Boston as well.
Oh, well, Boston had to win. Do you think that? Do you think Bergeron is making that much of a difference because he's not playing?
He's their number one. And Krejci was out last night too.
Oh yeah, but okay. But I thought they had all this depth. Remember?
I would say center depth is their one problem. Like Charlie Coyle and Pavel Zacha, you can't compare them to Bergeron and Krejci.
No, I don't agree. But I think that we have to remember this, and you brought it up one of the other shows, which is now coming home. But we think about it. People forget that Florida had the best record in the league just last year.
Yeah.
Okay, and it's basically the same team with some adjustments, minor.
And like they really start to find their steam. Like the last 20 games, 30 games
I would
season?
say 20 because they still remember because we were talking about that just after the All-Star break. We were saying perhaps maybe they wouldn't even make the playoffs because remember they were looking.
But they were starting to come on then, but we didn't know if that was like a flash in the pan or what, right?
Obviously they've righted the ship.
Oh yeah, they're the real deal. I think.
Oh yeah,
they're a good team.
Do you think that they're gonna extend the series anymore?
I called Boston in 6. I'm gonna stick to that. There's a chance Florida could extend it to 7.
I doubt it. I
doubt it too, but
I think that was a wake-up call, game 2. Even though Florida played,
I think Florida finds a way to win another game though, because all these games have been pretty tight.
Oh yeah, and last night's game, that could have gone either way.
Yeah,
Florida showed up last night. They
all
had
3 of the games you could argue that because Florida's gone at Boston just like Boston's been going at them.
Yeah. Oh no, no, and that's what I like about it. Like Florida's not backing down, and Florida had a good home crowd last night. Mm-hmm. Like considering how we say that Florida crowds,
you don't often say that, yeah.
They're often like blasé. But they actually had there was a little bit of spark in the room in the house, like the fans were showing it. So I'm going, okay, we're gonna see. But if Boston loses, I'd be happy. I'd be happy because you're never gonna hear me say anything nice about the Bruins. You know what I mean? Buddy in Nets let up a couple shaky goals.
Oh, Mark,
he's let up a couple whoa, where were you, buddy? But I'm saying this is his first shot at being the guy.
The guy, yeah. He wasn't even the goalie last year in the playoffs.
No.
Swayman got the job last year. Yeah,
exactly. So now he is the guy. Maybe showing a little butterflies. I don't know, but he's let up a couple bad goals.
Yeah.
A couple beach balls.
But I mean, Boston's got arguably the best defense core in the league, so they're going to shelter him.
Oh, that's what happens. So it's in those tight minutes you need the big save. He's going to be there. I can't see Boston losing.
No,
I'm not going to go there. The big surprise for me, because I talked about them incessantly, was my New Jersey Devils.
Your New Jersey.
I was loving those guys. I was kissing their ass. I wasn't sucking their dicks, but I was definitely kissing their asses. And what have they shown to me? Oh.
A whole lot of nothing.
Oh, and then a little bit of nothing more. Like, what's going on? I'm going to tell you what I was worried about. And I was talking about Carolina more this way than I was New Jersey. Like, Jersey's got some skilled players, but who is their go-to guy? And everyone's going to say Jack Hughes.
Jack Hughes.
Okay, but I always worried about Jack Hughes for one reason, which is?
Size.
And it's showing up in his series. He's going to have to be like, Marner got knocked around, okay, but Marner got back up and said, screw this, I'm going to go back fighting. Jack Hughes is going to have to show a little sandpaper. And the guys on his line, what's his winger? They got that one big winger on the line, the left winger guy.
Oh, the guy they got from San Jose?
Yes, he's going to have to start freaking...
they got Hughes playing with Howla and Tatar now. Yeah.
Okay, those are bigger boys. They should be doing something. They got to hit back, protect him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And Buddy that they got from San Jose, he hasn't panned out to be like he was supposed to be like looking like a power forward in the mode.
He's playing third line for them.
That's what I'm saying. He was supposed to be the power forward guy to come in and be, or like Cam Neely or whoever it was supposed to be, or Brendan Shanahan of the playoffs. You know, that power forward that's going to go dirty. He hasn't really shown that grit.
He really hasn't. Like, let me pull up the stats quickly.
No, and he's playing minutes. He's getting on there. Like, let's cut to the chase.
But his production went down ever since he got traded to New Jersey, too.
Something went on.
Mind you, the goals were there, so 9 goals in 21 games.
Okay, I'm not worried about that. I'm just saying his presence in these playoffs. I'm not seeing a difference. And he was supposed to be a power forward that would make a difference, especially when the playoff time came.
The problem is the New York Rangers, they just look too good, I think. They're battle-hardened. They're tough.
They're very
skilled.
tough. And, okay, so they're going to go into their house.
Up 2-0.
That's a New York Ranger crowd. People don't realize one thing. The New York Rangers get way more street cred in New York than people realized, okay? You know what I'm saying? So, was Johnny Mack at the game last night? Wasn't he at the game?
In New Jersey?
Yeah, was at the game. He was at the game.
Really?
Last night. It's 2-0, right? The series is 2-0, or is it 3-0?
2-0. Both games were in New Jersey.
Johnny Mack was in the house last night in New Jersey. Who else was in there? There's a couple other New York people that were in the house.
Oh, they always get big celebrities showing up.
But that's in Jersey. That's in Jersey. Now, when they're playing the Rangers, when they're playing at the Gardens tomorrow, they're gonna have a lot more. Like people that'll show up. I want to make a big shout out to Will Ferrell and his get up at the LA game last night. Did you see him?
No.
Oh. You'll see. I'm not going to say nothing. Wait till you see him. That guy's a great card. But I mean, wait till you see his.
He's a big Kings fan too.
Oh, mega Kings fan. But I mean, he was dressed. I wouldn't say.
Was Snoop at the game?
Was that
Snoop
no?
Dogg?
It wasn't at the game. No, I wish he was because he's become a King fan. I think they should let him.
He's always been a Kings fan,
but because he used to wear the hat back in the day too. I think
he says favorite hockey player of all time is Marcel Dion.
Yeah, is that cool? That's really really cool. And
every time he sees City, does a fist bump with him.
Yeah, you know what I wish though is that that would let him do some more hockey commentating. Mm-hmm. You know why? Because he really doesn't know the game.
That's the thing.
But he says crazy things when shit happens during the game. You know what I mean? Like his reaction to the game is not like traditional, like, you know, whoever it is, Ray Ferraro type commentary. Yeah. He just comes up with one of those blazing statements. Is that what I would put it? Like a blaze statement? Well, Snoop could say the alphabet and people are going to listen, but that's another story. I thought
back to the New Jersey, New York series, though. Are you calling sweep? Is that what you were alluding to?
No, I'm
before?
not. I think if the New Jersey sweeps, this is a disaster.
Ranger sweep.
I mean, Ranger sweep. This is a disaster. I was talking up Jersey since the All-Star break.
I said it would be New York in 7. So I'm disappointed in this one too.
Oh, I'm going. Come on, you're saying Jersey in 7, weren't you?
New York Rangers in 7.
Yeah, okay, but no, I was saying Jersey.
But still, I expected a good fight.
There's hasn't seen no fight yet.
This has got to be the worst New York New Jersey playoff series ever.
And everybody thought they'd be sharpening the sticks and the elbows would be out, and it's really been kind of placid to tell you the truth. Like New York's just going over and steamrolling them. It seems like they get the momentum of the game, and New Jersey doesn't know how to fight back, which surprised me because during the year the way they skated.
I didn't like one of the moves that New Jersey made for Game 2 was they scratched Jonas Siegenthaler, who's been like kind of Dougie Hamilton's defensive partner.
Okay.
And they scratched him for Brendan Smith. That's a terrible call.
Where did Brendan Smith used to play for?
Detroit? New York, Detroit. He's kind of been like a journeyman.
Yeah, but why would they do that then?
That's a terrible call. I don't know
Especially
why.
at this time of the year with chemistry when you need your thing. But Dougie Hamilton hasn't been the Dougie Hamilton we've known in these playoffs.
No, he hasn't been. But, like, I mean, taking away his defensive partner usually kind of keeps him honest, you know. So I don't think the best way to go about it.
I'm not arguing with you there. I'm definitely not going to argue with you there. What I'm saying is that I don't know how New Jersey gets out of this hole.
I don't think they do.
You know what I mean? I really expected them to like I said, I was predicting them maybe to play Boston in the conference finals, and now that's just a pipe dream. Now I don't even know who's going to play Boston. I mean, you're going to tell me Toronto, but that's another story. I don't know who's going to play. Like before the playoffs started, I had more of a idea of what I thought could go on, but now I'm saying I don't know nothing. I'm of the belief I know nothing about hockey, because go check the tapes, people. I said some stuff about some teams that are just not. I thought Colorado was just waiting to get to the second round. You know, I was that guy. I go, we'll see what happens with Colorado.
Especially with their hot finish.
Yes, exactly. So I said, we'll wait to see what they're doing in the second round. We don't even know for sure, because they better tighten up their ship before it's going to go on. And in all the other series, and I'm going to say this. I got to be honest, and we're going to switch over from this, okay? The Dallas-Minnesota series, I think, is going to go 7 as we end our hockey thing.
Yeah. In
my opinion, I think that has been the best-looking series of all the series.
It has been, but
I think in L.A. and Edmonton pretty too. But if you look across the board here, Colorado and Seattle has been good, because Colorado is like the horse coming down on the outside, racing down the track, and they won the race. So it's been solid hockey, but it's still been not like except for last night, where I thought like Minnesota kind of bitch slapped Dallas a bit. Okay, but I thought that series is good. It's got that toughness to it. It's got that grit to it. It's like there's like when I watch Minnesota Dallas, I see not 1980, but it looks like a fight could break out at any time.
It's too bad Minnesota's shooting themselves in the foot with that series, with their goaltending situation.
Ooh, I knew you were going to bring that up. Okay.
Oh, well, I got a buddy that's a Minnesota Wild fan, so I'm hearing it every
How does
game.
he be a Minnesota Wild fan? He lives in Toronto. How did he become a Minnesota Wild fan?
You should ask him yourself.
When I meet him, I want to go, buddy, how did you become a Minnesota Wild fan? I don't get it. Like, you live in Toronto and you're Minnesota.
I don't understand it either.
That team's been around, what, 15 minutes? And you're a Minnesota Wild fan in Toronto? You weren't brought up properly? They didn't feed you at the table? What school did he go to?
Come on. In his defense, his parents aren't hockey fans.
You tell him to listen to this part of the show, because, buddy, I don't even know who you are, but I'll give you a good psychiatrist. You're a Minnesota Wild fan in Toronto? Stop it.
Oh, and he
I would even take an Ottawa fan in Toronto.
That makes more sense.
But a Minnesota Wild fan in Toronto?
It's a weird one.
Does he smoke weed?
He does.
Okay, then we'll start adding on to it. I smoke weed, so I don't want to say that's differential to what you are, but maybe that just puts him in another cloud. Minnesota Wild fan in Toronto. Can I say that one more time? Really? Stop it, buddy. Hey, what's his name?
Stefan.
Hey, Stefan, love your name. Team choice? Gonna talk to your daddy about that. You know, something's gone wrong there. But in any event, the Carolina-New York series is not over. I thought Carolina was going to do a steamroll. They were looking pretty well. They're doing that. Doesn't seem to be they need that big guy I was talking about.
Didn't you call the Islanders to beat them, though?
No, I don't know.
I thought we did. You have your book there.
Yeah, I think maybe I did, but now
I think all three of us picked the Islanders to upset them.
Oh, and by the way, I want to thank your brother again for being on the show, and I think that he has to have a return at the beginning, our show at the second round. Because he was on there, so we're going to call you back there. So I hope when he takes a listen, we're going to have you back at the show before the start of the second round, because he was here for the first round.
Yeah.
And we always have a repeat guy. You know what I'm saying? And Zach, if you're listening, we're going to have you back there for our baseball thing as the playoffs are going to go on. And we have Mr. Paul. We're going to get everybody back, and we got a couple other people that want to be guests. I just want to throw them in there quickly. We're not apropos to having anybody out there, and I know that some people have been calling me out for some things that I've said. So we're welcoming you to the show to defend yourself, because I don't hide from nobody.
All right. We got one more series we didn't touch on, Vegas-Winnipeg.
I am so happy for the Winnipeg Jets. I'm not saying that they're going to win the series, but we have a huge game today.
Oh, 100%. Now, full disclosure, I have no love for either of these two teams.
Oh, I know that. I know. We blew these guys off completely, because I was talking about how Winnipeg could have been a better team and they didn't do nothing at the trade deadline. Remember, we went through that whole routine? And what did Winnipeg do? It didn't seem like they didn't need no
Niederreiter.
Okay.
That was their big pickup.
There you go. And let's think about a month ago. We were talking about Winnipeg possibly being a team not making the playoffs.
And to think like a couple months before that, we were talking about them winning the division.
And
just the ups and downs of this team
is unbelievable. But they've played solid against Vegas. That's not a bad looking series either.
No, it's not. This is another one though. I think Vegas is going to figure out a way to win this.
Okay, then. So now what I want to do is lead into from one playoff series to another. But the way I want to lead into it is I'm really going to say this, which I'm not going to do as we go to our basketball segment here, is that all season long I've been screaming how much better the NHL games have been than the NBA games have been. Okay? Now the playoffs have started.
Uh-oh.
Something has changed in the NBA, so I'm not going to say nothing but assholes at the beginning, because we have seen some games in the NBA playoffs so far that have been highly entertaining, which gets back to my original premise, which I'm saying nothing but assholes is about, is do they have lost complete respect for the regular season now, and they're just amping it up for the playoffs? So
the
we
NBA?
can forget, so we can forget every stupid thing. So Mr. Milani will be calling me by 7 o'clock tonight about something I have to deliver, and this is one of the things I will deliver, so I don't want to wreck it on the show.
Okay.
I want to use that on the side, but excuse me, surprisingly enough, the NBA playoffs have got some interesting narratives.
Oh, for sure.
Okay.
Now, I wouldn't say that's surprising, though.
No, but you know what? It makes me crazy, bro. You know what really makes me crazy is because the disrespect for the regular season. You know what I mean? Now they're amping it up, and we're having some good games, and everybody's back. You know,
You can say that about hockey, too, though.
But no, hockey's been pretty regular. Like there's no
yeah, but the divide between playoff and regular season hockey, it's like
always.
Yeah.
Always, okay? But I'm saying I don't see a lot of load management in the NHL.
It's starting to sneak up on.
Towards the end of the year, okay, you know what I'm saying? If you want to rest a guy, you're 10
even
points
like,
ahead.
Leafs would, like, there'd be like a, game in January against, I don't know.
Nobody.
Yeah, against the Red Wings or something.
And somebody sits down, okay, I'm not saying, let's not say it's not as prevalent in the NHL, okay? And sometimes I think the games are more immediate in the NHL. For some reason, which it should be in the NBA. But let's just put it this way. One of the last games of the season was Toronto-Boston regular season game. What was the score? 2-1. Boston won late. It was an amazing hockey game, okay?
Hockey, yeah.
Okay. Let's talk about the late season game between, I think it was Philadelphia and Miami. And they both were juggling for a playoff spot or have to recognize what they're doing in the playoffs. The score was 20 points difference. You know what I mean? It was a shit game. That's what I'm saying. The NHL doesn't seem to puke it up as much in the regular season as the NBA had this year.
Yeah.
And now the NBA, the games, you got to go like tonight. We got the Clippers playing Phoenix.
That series, it really feels like winner that goes to the finals, doesn't it?
It certainly does. And then Kawhi hurt his knee again and didn't play because, in my opinion, and I've been watching just as much basketball as I've been hockey, privy to the fact that I've got a lot of screens. I haven't even been playing guitar while I'm watching because you got to really concentrate on all the games. I can't do nothing. I just, even my dog, sit beside me dog and shut up. I'm watching the games. But
wow, Kawhi's, still out for tonight.
He's out tonight too? By the way, people, Kawhi Leonard has been the best player I've seen in these playoffs in the first two games. Easily the best player. We're talking anybody, name any player in these players in the NBA. Nobody has played better than Kawhi Leonard in these first two games.
Even the last few games of the regular season.
Oh,
last
he's
10,
been
20 games,
outrageously good. He's been vintage 2019 Toronto Raptor good.
We could argue even vintage 2014.
2014
San Antonio.
There you go.
Yeah.
He's been that good. Now he's out. What did they say? He's not tonight?
He's out tonight. That's all they're saying.
If they lose tonight, they're done.
Oh yeah, you're down 3-1 in the NBA. That's
I will give them credit though. The depth of that team has shown, like without Paul George and without Kawhi Leonard, it took Phoenix everything in their power to beat them. Which goes back to Masai of Toronto, who tried to do things to juggle their lineup. At the time, I thought it might be okay. We're getting Gary Trent for Norm Powell. It might be a different look for the team. In hindsight, I'd take Norm Powell back in a minute. He scored 42 the other night.
He did. He had a big night.
Yeah, and he's been playing solid defense. He's been on the team. Now, when we start the season next year, who would you rather have, Norm Powell or Gary Trent Jr.?
Oh, Norm Powell.
Okay, so there we go.
Gary Trent experiment failed.
Huge, because we needed a better shooter. That was the name of the game, which is going to be another story about the Toronto.
The funny thing about that one is one of the things I use to kind of measure how good a player is coming in is you look at how upset the other fans are of that team. And a lot of Portland fans were upset that they traded Gary Trent. So I thought we were getting someone good.
Because I thought he was a shooter, and he looked like he was breaking out. He looked like he was on the verge that, okay, your next season you become the breakout guy.
Yep.
Okay, he didn't become the breakout guy because they said, oh, he played defense. It seemed like he played defense when he felt like it. But let's not talk about Gary Trent. Let's just talk about the Clippers and their depth. Like, you're missing Paul George, and you're missing Kawhi Leonard, and it took 40-some points from Booker for you to beat the Clippers in your house.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Oh, no, was that the first game in L.A.? Was the first game in L.A.? Because, like, Phoenix is up 2-1 now, right, in the series?
2-1.
Yeah. Okay, so it took you everything in your power to beat the Clippers. 40 from and 30 from Durant, wasn't it? If I'm not mistaken.
I just have here the top, and it says Booker at 38.
38, well, nearly 40. In any event, like...
Oh, no, sorry, that's game 2.
Yeah, he had 42, I do believe.
Booker at 45.
45, was it? Yeah, so he needed 45, and Durant scored 30 and 10, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's a lot of playing, and not only that, Ayton had to have 15 boards or something. Like, it was a good game. Mm-hmm. It was a battle, and I want to. One of my favorite players in the NBA is Russell Westbrook. I really think he's had a bad run with the Lakers, but now that he's back with the Clippers, he's played amazing. And when you can walk in that funky-looking suit and show your case of beer, did you see him come into the game the other night?
No.
With the thing on so he could show that six-pack? The guy's cut to ribbons. My wife looked at the screen and went, whoa. She didn't even see what it was. She just seen man.
Yeah.
She looked and she went, whoa. I go, that's Russell Westbrook, dear. Easy. Take it easy. But you didn't see his outfit? Well, you know he plays it up for the Vanity Fair.
Oh, he's into fashion, yeah.
Yeah, he's one of those fashion guys. Which, you know what, I'm thinking that's good because it's South Korea. But that's one thing I'm glad NHL guys do. Just wear your suit and come in. Where, you know, you got the cameras waiting for him. I want to go back to the old Tim Duncan days where he was wearing his Kodiak's blue jeans and his frickin' flannel shirt coming in.
Oh, yeah.
Like, some of these guys come in, and you know they're looking for the GQ and the Vanity Fair, whatever. But that's let's get off. Let's get back to what's going on in the NBA right now. And I think that's going to be a great series. I think that another interesting series is I like the fact that I'm going to represent Mississauga here. I don't think Dylan Brooks is a bitch.
No.
I think he's doing everything in his power to make sure that they can win. And when they lost that first game to the Lakers when Ja Morant went down, now what they're saying, no Ja, no problem.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So what I'm saying is I don't think that series is far from over.
That one looks like it's going 7. I think I called that at the beginning.
I give Memphis a lot of credit. I give them their depth, and they're still missing Steven Adams and Brandon Clark, and they beat him the other night. But that's Dylan Brooks. You know what? I like him. See what he said after the game? I like to poke the bear.
Yeah.
But here's an interesting thing about that game. Okay, have you watched LeBron in his career? He's had to go Bruce Bowen. He's had to go against Lance Stevenson. He's had to go against Draymond Green. These guys are all bear poking, hardcore, let's get at.
Yeah.
And what has LeBron ever said to any of these guys? Nothing. Did you see him barking at Dylan Brooks the other night? That's what I'm saying. Dylan Brooks, you're doing something. If you're getting that kind of reaction out of LeBron James.
Oh, he's a grade 1 SD.
Oh, that's and he's from Saga. Let's give him some rap. He's a Canadian boy from Saga. Dylan Brooks, I know your uncle. You know what I mean? So less if you're listening to the show. We're you know what? We were talking about Dylan. The only thing Dylan Brooks has to do, in my opinion, slow down going to the net because he's missed some layups going too hard. Going to the net, okay? What really surprised me is Anthony Davis. You were voted one of the 75 best players in the history of the NBA. Start playing like it.
Yeah.
He was terrible in game 2.
He's looked out of sorts, oh man, all season basically.
Well, he was really good in game 1. The problem is that they got that guy off the bench. They opened up a closet. Ja Morant went down, and what's the kid's name? Stillwater or whatever. This guy's been a number 12. He came out and he scored 22 and had 3 blocks on AD. AD, you can't have some guy that I can't even remember his name come out and embarrass you on national TV. So I'm really looking forward to the game today. That's the one I'm going to be in front of for sure. Everything else going on in the NBA seems to be like not as much drama, so to speak.
Well, except the Sacramento Golden State series.
Well, you know what? That's exactly where I'm alluding to because I don't think that Sacramento gets any credit whatsoever. I'm really congratulations to DeAndre Fox for getting
De'Aaron Fox
for whatever is that now clutch player of the year. Is NBA that make stuff up as they go along? Anyway, I don't know. Anyway, DeAndre Fox is a great clutch player.
Oh, yeah.
He's been with that since Kentucky. I'm glad he's getting his props now because, like I say, in my opinion, the three most exciting young players, actually it's four when you take Shea from Oklahoma City, is Edwards from Minnesota, Fox from Sacramento, and, of course, my boy John Memphis. They're going to be the face of the league in 5 years, and that's going to be great for the league because they're all great players.
Oh, for sure.
So what I'm going to say is, and let's cut right to the chase. We had a show earlier this year, the 5 biggest bitches in the year, and who was on that list? Draymond Green.
Yeah.
What do you think of the suspension?
Not enough.
Okay, so this
Stepped on a man's chest.
Stomped on a man's chest, not stepped on it, stomped on it, which is what happened is someone says it galvanized the team and Golden State went home and won a game. So the series is now 2-1. Thank you. Okay, so here's what
I think Golden State's just a good home team.
That's all they go take. So let's ask this. Let's compare it because we didn't get around this in a hockey sense. So let's talk about this really quick because we're rambling a lot. The bottom line is suspensions in the NHL and suspensions in the NBA seem to be completely different, don't you think?
Yeah, in the NHL, it's playoff time, you get more games. NBA, it seems to be you get less games.
I don't get that. Okay, now, we've discussed this off mic where we're saying, is it because the one player is more significant to a team in one sport?
If that is the case, that shouldn't matter. I mean, suspension's a suspension is a suspension, right?
A felony is a felony is a felony. Okay,
Yeah.
So what I don't understand is Bunting got 3 games. So we never brought this up.
Yeah, that was too harsh.
Way too harsh. Okay.
Mind you, I don't exactly feel bad for Bunting. He's been pissing me and a lot of other Leaf fans off this year. I know that.
Oh, by the way, he's my second favorite Leaf after Austin Matthews.
Oh,
I love Bunting. I love Bunting. Can I
like Bunting. I like Bunting when he's on, but when he's just been he's been too much of a distraction this year. But
that sounds like the whole Leaf fan base. But can I defend Mr. Bunting? The guy is playing hard. In that game when they were losing 7-2, at least he was trying to mix it up to get the team going. Come on, we just can't fall down like little bitches.
Yeah, but he was being stupid.
Okay, he made a mistake. The guy bent a bit too. If that guy had kept it straight up, we wouldn't be having this conversation. And guess what? Who did he hit? We hit the most physical defenseman on the Tampa Bay.
Cernak?
The most physical guy on the team. What's Cernak going to do? He was thinking about it. This is Bunting, let me get my shot. Guess what? Bunting got his in first. You don't think that Cernak would have taken a shot at Bunting?
Oh, for sure he would have.
Okay, so now let's put it that way. Do you think Sabonis would have stomped on Draymond Green?
Definitely not.
Okay, so then why did he get 3 games on Draymond getting it? Because you know what the other thing they were saying about? Reputation. What's Draymond great reputation?
Yeah, it doesn't make sense they only got 1 game given his reputation.
There you go. Now, what they said is because Sabonis grabbed onto the leg.
Doesn't matter.
That's a tech. We got the tech.
He got teched up.
Okay, so that's good. But the stomp on the guy afterwards? Okay.
Ridiculous.
Here at the house that happens, we want it to be registered that we believe a felony is a felony is a felony is a felony, correct?
Yeah.
So therefore, Draymond Green, you little bitch, I think that you should have been out for 2 games. But they can't do it in the NBA because, like you say, the significance of one player as opposed to one player.
Like you say.
What's that?
Like you say.
Yes. Okay, so like I'm feeling bad for Bunting, but Toronto won without him. So what you got on a lot of the so-called pundits saying is, oh, Toronto lost Bunting, galvanized the team. Oh, the Warriors lost Draymond,
I don't buy that.
Not at the house, bro. Not at the house. We don't buy into that kind of bullshit, cliche nonsense.
Yeah.
Agreed?
Agreed.
Any other observations about the NBA playoffs that have got your attention?
No more really about the playoffs, but the Toronto Raptors made a big change. You said it would. You said it would happen before the draft. Well, it happened not even a week after that show.
Okay, so we have to address this situation because I'm going to say this. We are in Toronto. We have to address the Raptors in this way. Masai Ujiri is one of the slickest mofos I have ever. This guy is Barack Obama smooth.
Yeah.
Okay?
No, he's one of the best executives in basketball, hands
no
down.
doubt about it. So let's talk about this, and I'm going to be realistic. Everybody in the NBA, including Larry Bird, who is one of the greatest players of all time. Can I say that? Full
Agreed.
disclosure from the house that happens. Jack Cruz, says that Larry Bird is one of the greatest basketball players of all time. Okay, is everybody out there saying it? And we're not going to say nothing about race. Okay, but my point being is Larry Bird once upon a time said, you notice he only coached in the league 5 years?
Yeah.
He was a good coach. He brought him to the finals,
Yep.
and he brought him to
Yep.
the conference finals, okay?
Yeah, good Indiana teams.
With good Indiana teams, including Reggie Miller and Jalen Rose. Okay, Larry Bird had this interesting conversation. He said, unless you're a Chuck Daly, Pat Riley, or maybe even a Phil Jackson, your life expectancy of a coach is 5 to 7 years.
Yeah.
How many years has
Nick Nurse had?
This is his
5 years.
Okay. So do we have some dressing room problems this year in Toronto?
Oh, for sure.
Okay, so someone's got to go in the dressing room. So what they start is, we don't know who is with what with Mr. Nurse, but we're going to find out real soon. Okay, so let's take it one step further. I want to go back and say I wish I could pick lottery numbers like this, because I also had what did we say? Nick Nurse should never have talked about his run. Remember when you said that? Like everyone said, you can't say that, Nick Nurse. It might cost you your job. Well, guess what? Masai said that had nothing to do.
Well, he already had his meeting with Udoka before that.
2!
Oh, there you go.
Oh, we haven't even brought his name
there
up
we go.
yet.
I believe Masai when he says that had nothing to do with it. I think he already had this in the cards.
Of course,
this is already going down.
That was my thing. So now let's talk about what it is. How is Toronto the Good going to say to the adulterer when he comes in his first press conference? What are we going to say to him? Hey, stay away from the bitches, bro. Is that is he bringing his wife? Is he bringing his wife? I want to know. What is it? Inquiring minds want to know?
I don't know. For me, it's like I have libertarian views, so it's like,
Okay, let's hear it.
I don't care what the fuck he does outside
I don't either. He's a great coach.
Okay, like he had an affair with someone in the organization. They were both consenting. I don't have a problem with that. I don't understand why the Boston Celtics had to air their dirty laundry in public. That made no sense to me.
Thank you very much.
You just make everyone look dumb.
Okay, so now here at the House of Happens, another thing we want to take credit for. We don't do our laundry in public. Okay?
Exactly.
So now we're going to get a good coach out of this.
A real good coach.
That's what I'm saying. So that's going to determine how we're going to shred. He's going to walk into the dressing room and he's going to make decisions. One of the things that he did very well, if you remember over a year ago, the Boston Celtics made it to the NBA Finals.
Last season.
Also last season, at the Christmas break, the Celtics were 5 games under 500, and the word was, who do we get rid of, Jaylen Brown or Jason Tatum? Mm-hmm. Somehow, some way, this Okudo pulled that team together, of course, with the leadership of Marcus Smart, which cannot be underestimated, and he got this team to the finals. Well, now we seem to be having some personality problems in the dressing room. Nobody's saying it's who, but we know that OG has to leave.
Yeah.
Nobody's confirming it, but we do and we don't.
It's Pascal and OG. We know this.
Who leaves town?
Siakam.
Thank you very much. Now let's go get a real shooter. So I'm saying
I think you get a lot from Siakam too.
First rounder?
Oh, I said more. Especially if it's a good team, that's going to be a low first round pick. So that's not going to have that much value.
Listen, Giannis got picked 21st.
That's what I'm saying.
Kawhi got picked 17th.
Yeah, but there's a lot of NBA guys who you're like, who's this guy that went number 4 overall?
Okay, we got it, but you got to know what you're doing. You got to be a good drafter. And Masai, for the most part,
he's a good drafter.
Okay, so we'll take a chance on doing that. I'm just saying this. It would be full disclosure. I'm going to miss Nick Nurse. I want to thank him for his time in Toronto.
100%.
He got us a ring. We were going to miss you, Nick Nurse, and I never got to talk to you about what's your favorite guitar. Because he's a guitar player.
Well, he's still going to be coaching Team Canada, so he might be able to find out.
He's going to be the coach of the Houston Rockets.
I believe so too.
I'm gonna go there. But don't you think it's interesting? Well, how do you think the press is going to handle this? I'm not going to name names of the people we don't like in the Toronto press, but we got some
I can name
righteous.
You 3 right now.
Okay, well, of those 3, who's going to write the biggest freaking why we shouldn't have him because of character issue?
Oh, he writes for the Star. Put it that way.
Okay, then we won't even. We're not even going to have to go there. We don't want to bring the guy's name up because that's how much we hate you. Okay, buddy?
Hate's a strong word. I strongly dislike.
I'm a hater. I'm cutting to the chase. I hate the guy. But I think that we're going to have to go through all of that nonsense.
Of course.
All of that, oh my God, what did he say? What did he do? Aren't we Toronto the Good? Enough with that. Because didn't we have the yellow hooded guy at the Leaf game embarrass our fan base the other night?
Yellow hooded guy.
Didn't you see him at the press box? The guy losing his shit on the Tampa guy in the penalty box? That was in Toronto. That was
Game 1?
Game 1.
I missed that.
Oh, it was just, the guy was banging. They were calling him on the show as the yellow hooded guy. But it was an embarrassment.
I saw Game 2, there was
was
something.
It the Game 2 guy? Was it Game 2?
I don't know. There was something where they kept kind of the box and there was security there. I don't know what that was
He's called the yellow hoodie guy. And they say, "Oh, we're Toronto. We don't have fans like that. We have humans in Toronto too, don't we?"
I was talking to my
Stop
friends
it.
at work. I was like, if I was like right beside the penalty box and Patrick Maroon was in there, I would be talking so much smack.
That's what happened. But okay, you can talk smack. Every player expected. Just don't be stupid.
Oh, of course.
You know what I mean? Like, don't do that. And the same thing with the guy that was at the Blue Jay game that was ragging on the Angel pitcher. Because you know that now you can sit right on top of the bullpen, and that guy was a little ridiculous. So here at the House That Happens, we're all about razzing guys. We're all about heckling. We're all about giving the guy the business, but we're not about ignorance.
No. Speaking of the Blue Jays, though, I was at the game last Sunday.
It was your fault. It was your fault. I said you were going to go there.
Not Manoah's fault for coming out with the bad outing. That was a bad game by Manoah.
Okay.
And that will take me to my next point. I'm worried about the Jays starting pitching.
Why?
They haven't been very good, Cruz. I don't know if you've watched the
games.
No.
Okay, I'm the biggest critic.
Okay.
The last show.
Gosman, he had that one bad game.
So he's going to be good his next 5 starts. Every 6 start, he's going to get a kick in the ass.
That's my point. I'm fine with Gosman. Kikuchi had one bad start. Other than that, he's 3-0 on the season.
Look at him last night.
Bassett started off a little shaky, but I think he's starting to figure
learned
out
how
the
to hit
device.
How to text. Yeah, okay, because he's had 3 quality starts in a row, bro.
Yep.
Remember
exactly.
me? I was fucking. So how? Okay, let's cut to the chase here.
But Barrios and Manoah.
Barrios had his best game the other night. Okay, look at this. Look at the Houston series. That boiled down to 2 innings, bro.
Yeah.
2 innings. We had the bases loaded with Springer, Bichette, and Vladdy coming up. The averages in baseball saying you're not going to hit 400. Those 3 guys were the hottest hitters on our team. Not so much Springer, but those 3 guys are clutch hitters. And what happened? Averages caught up with them. They've had so many great at-bats. There's one going to have a bad at-bat. What I had up, the gods of baseball said all 3 guys had bad bats. We had the bases loaded with none out in the 8th inning with the game tied. I know, we were only down 1. Didn't you expect? I thought we were going to tie the game.
Oh,
Fly
sure.
ball. So that was what happened. Glozman gives up 7 in the first inning. Game over. We give up 6 in the 8th inning. So you're talking about we lost the only series of the year we lost, by the way. The only series we lost is against Houston, which was what? 2 innings. You take away those 2 innings, and what if we gave up in that series?
No, that was
we gave up 4 runs. We gave up 4 runs in that, except for those 2 innings. So that's 27 innings of baseball. 25 innings, we gave up 4 runs. Would you take that? Damn right you would. So now when I'm the guy that hated our starting pitching from the beginning, I'm the guy. Now I'm switching here. We got to switch around the table here. I'm shocked that you're going to bash our starting pitching, especially after our Japanese
pitch. They lost the opening series to St. Louis. Don't forget that.
No, did we?
No, yeah, they won the first and then they lost 2 and 3.
It was 4. No, but it was 4-game series. So
no, it was a
2-2.
3-gamer.
Okay, so that's the only series. Okay, second series we lost. We lost the first series to St. Louis. I thought it was a 4-game series, and we lost 2. Did we?
They won game 1, then they lost 2 and 3.
Oh, okay. So, I'll take that back. But since then, we haven't lost a series.
No.
Okay, so then now we lost to Houston. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing. And look, we went into New York and we won game 1.
There we go.
Okay, so look at it. Who pitched the game? The Jap.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow, you can't say that, Cruz.
Okay, the Japanese guy. Is that saying bad, the Jap?
That's a racial slur.
Is it?
Yeah, it is.
Okay, to my Japanese brethren, I will never say that again. I just seen that in a lot of old war movies when I was a kid. Now my uncles said they were Japs. Didn't they? Okay, sorry. They're Japanese, okay? Anyways, our Japanese starter has been okay. I'm not trusting him, no.
He's a good number 5.
Okay, and he's been doing so far. So I will say this. You know what scares me more about about the Blue Jays? Their defense. Again, okay, we had our center fielder. He's that 2-goal
Kiermaier.
2 over his head this year. I thought he was our guy that was supposed to go back and catch these balls. Springer, what do you see the other night against Houston? Yeah. I thought that was a catchable ball. He misplayed the ball. Okay, what about this Quagmire at second base?
Yeah, I don't know.
Buddy,
play Bichette there. That's my answer.
And move Espinal to short and get him more at-bats because he's not getting enough bats to do it. And Murphy's playing all over the place, and Biggio's playing all over the place. And I'm going to go back to my mentor of basketball, Sparky Anderson. You leave a guy there for so many games and see what he does. Or you have a platoon situation like back in the day when you had Rad Smoleniks and Garth Orge. That's before your time. Or Buck Martinez and Ernie Witt.
Sure.
Okay, so then they know what they're doing, so they're going to prepare in that manner. The only thing wrong with Mr. Schneider is I always go run to the lineup. Who's playing today? I shouldn't be doing that. After okay, I'm going to say my other theory about the 20 wins before 20 losses. I'm going to go there, so we're not there yet. But by the time we get there, we better have something second because this second base is, and our defense isn't that good.
No, it's not.
Okay, so one of the things what we do to make the trades was to get what? Better defense, because that was going to be protecting our starting pitching. Have they been protecting our starting pitching? No. So
is it better than last year, though?
Oh, okay, so guess what? Okay, what's better? Okay, I'm going to tell you what's better about it, okay? If we had a car that was doing, we needed to go 100 miles an hour and it's going 60, we're now doing 65. So we got a long way to go. Bro.
Not even 70? Come on.
No, we're not even 70. No, when that ball went over Kermeyer's head the other night, I went, didn't you hear me yell? Really? Now, can I say one other thing? This Varsho guy's the real deal.
Oh, exactly. I don't want to hear you diss him.
No. He's going to be a fan favorite, but I'm going to say this, bro, and I said this at the beginning of the season, and I want this to be Schneider and Don Mattingly say this. I don't give a shit about this left-right batting order bullshit. Let's put Chapman into the frickin' cleanup role. Did I make the call?
Yeah.
Who should be our cleanup hitter?
Matt Chapman.
And who should be our cleanup hitter now?
Chapman.
Matt Chapman, and Varsho should hit behind him because I think what's happening is Bichette's getting pitches to hit because of Vladdy. Now, let's talk about Vladdy right now. Let's forget the power numbers. If he hits 340, remember in the minors, he was the best hitter on the team for average, okay? And power came with it. Then he came up and swung hard at all these balls. And Vladdy's still hitting the ball hard.
Oh, yeah.
He's still hitting it as hard as anyone in the league.
But him and Bichette, they're both like, what, top 5 in batting average?
Oh, yeah. That's what I'm saying. But because look, and Vladdy's getting, and Bichette's getting pitches.
Yeah.
Okay, sometimes Vladdy, I notice, isn't getting the pitches because they're not respecting Varsho enough. But Varsho's getting pitches because Chapman is so hot.
Yeah.
Because Varsho's hitting above his weight right now, like considering what he was in Arizona. Mm-hmm. But then again, you got to look at the Arizona ballpark compared to
not a hitter friendly ballpark.
And now you got a hitter friendly, and his defense has been solid. Do you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So, anyways, I'm just going to say this: I'm with Manoah. I think Manoah's out of shape. I think that he's going to be in shape. Him and Garrett Cole are going today. We're going to get out of here right now because we want to make sure we're in front of the TV for the game, and we've got a lot of things we want to do.
So there's just one thing I want to say about the game on Sunday. So my girlfriend had an interesting observation about Matt Chapman.
Which is?
So see, his picture makes it look like he belongs in a Lifetime Holocaust movie.
Oh, my God. And you know what? She's right. She is 100%. Because sometimes I look at him and I go, really? Really? I know what she's saying.
Because he looks kind of like almost sad in his picture. He's got like that kind of pencil mustache, you know?
Oh, yeah. And it looks like you know what I mean? Until you see him in the face. His face doesn't match his body. That's what I think. Because I know what you're talking about. Them people, like maybe they lost a meal.
Sure.
Maybe. I'm not sure. Let's not say that because we're going to get ourselves in trouble. But we are hoping for a very successful season a very successful series here in New York. Go Manoah. Get over.
Go Jays.
And go Jays, and let's see what happens. But before we go, there's just one more thing I want to bring up about this whole thing in sports once and for all. And I don't know how we're going to change it. But let's watch in the playoffs, in the NBA, and in the NHL. Can the refereeing be more consistent, please?
I'd like for that to happen.
Can we just, on both leagues?
Yeah.
Okay, I don't want no makeup calls. I don't want to make the call like in a number of the hockey games. All of a sudden, there's a sketchy call. I seen one in the Carolina game the other night, and bingo, what happened? Then they called the Islander guy.
Speaking of my pet peeves in hockey, the makeup calls, it's the worst.
Can we just please, at the house that happens, no more. I want to address that. And the other thing in the NBA, if you're going to call that foul in the first quarter, call that foul in the fourth quarter. Yeah. Don't change your mind. Don't worry about it changing the objective, the trajectory of the game. As fans, as people that are talking about sports, we want a consistent refereeing. Agreed?
Agreed.
You know what I mean? On that note, for all the people out there that are shouting to us on the side, please give us a like. Say that you know. Don't walk up to me in the bar and say, Cruz, that show was pretty good. Hey, I haven't met Andrew yet. He's really good on the microphone. Give us a touch on the social circles.
Give us an old like.
Where do you find us, Andrew?
You can find us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok.
Oh, yes.
And you can email us at thehousethathappens@gmail.com.
And we will upgrade that on a regular basis. Bro, this has been a great show. It's always good talking to you. Talk to your brother. We'll have him back in the playoffs soon. Hi, my name is Cruz.
And I'm Andrew Milani.
And we out of here.